What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. Amazing stuff. Few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button. Smack it. Lay the smack down on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we can get the subscribers up and a message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, it's a talk show, so you can't call in at any point during the show. 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. Hey, Chris. And you can call in at any point during the show. We can talk about whatever you want. All in the name of Jesus. If for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the description, or go directly to the live chat, hit the super chat button, boom. Send your question or comments there. I will read them live on air. You do have that option, and it's appreciated. Amazing stuff. We are live on YouTube and on IG. Shout out to the YouTube chat, the Snake Pit, holding it down. Shout out to the Mod Squad. Mod Squad holding it down. As always, shout out to the IG chat, the Lion's Den. What's going on, y'all? King Wesley said, did you get my super chat from the other day? Yes, I'm going to read that right out the gate right now. I'm going to read that. I'm going to read super chats right now. And then we're going to get straight to the subject so we can get everything in for this 1 hour time period that we have. So let's get to the super chats real quick. We got JC said, bought a donut and says, forget the poll, Mod Freddie from LA. LOL. Women are not workers to their husbands. The husbands and wives are equal. Fresh Fit sucks. They are not alphas. I love to call. I'm in and discuss some things with you and your fellow experts. I heard one defending domestic abuse today. Check the DM I sent you on IG. Hope you're well. I see some of your words you listen to. Hope you're well. I see some of words you listen to. I don't know what you mean by that, JC. I'm not sure what you mean, but as far as your other stuff, women are not workers to their husband. I wouldn't say that they're workers. And maybe I was alluding to that, but I'm just saying that they follow the lead of the husband. They follow the lead of the husband. And because the husband's following the lead of God. And even if the husband doesn't follow the lead of God, right, you still respect your husband. And respect is doing your duty as a wife. You're called to respect your husband. You're called to not judge him. You're called to raise his children. You're called to do your part. So it don't matter. His part matters, of course, right? But you focus on your part and God will handle the rest. Let God deal with the husband. You do your thing. And the woman is subject to the man, to the husband. So when I say work for him, let's just say they do have a business, or he has a business that he runs. The woman is the helper to that business if she's involved, right? She doesn't have to be involved, but if she's involved, she worked for the husband for that business, right? She's a helper. A woman was created to be a helper. And that's an honor. She should honor you. That's not a put down. That's not a negative thing. She should honor that. And it's an honor to be a helper to the man. Why? Because a man is subject and obedient to Christ. So both people are following orders. The man ain't special. He following orders too. So that's what I mean. But I appreciate it. JC, right on. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I think Not a Victim says, with the donut says, best way to assert yourself with males, I am male. That's what he says. I don't quite know what you mean by that, but I appreciate the donut. Right on. And then Colby bought 5 donuts and said, keep up the great work. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate the donation. Right on. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get to the stuff here. Oh, Court is in the chat. Amazing stuff. All right. A little something there. Okay, let's get on with the message. Let's get on with the show. I have some clips I want to play you guys. I have some stuff I want to show you. And a little surprise there. I got some stuff I want to show you guys. We're talking about high value men and women. I don't know if you guys seen the expert segment on the Jesse Lee Peterson show this morning where me and James and Nick and Jesse were talking about high value men and all that stuff. But I wanted to talk about that and bring some more context to it. But if you missed that and you want to watch it, go watch Jesse Lee Peterson's show this morning. Amazing stuff. I just want to talk about it a little bit and give my opinion on it. A high value men and women, the term is just a worldly term. It's just something the world made up to identify like men and women who are, I guess, the ideal example of what men and women should look like. But my thing is that like I think we need to not forget, and I think what's being forgotten is son of God, daughter of God type of thing. Because when we forget that that's the highest form of being, then we make up all these other things, and all these other things have weird definitions. And once we remember that we are to be sons and daughters of God, then we cannot take the spirit out of things. Then we can work on reflecting God's image. And I feel like that is forgotten. So now we have all these other ideas of high value man, which most people think it means to be rich and a provider for your family, and but then also have strong morals and be tough and strong. And not that all those things aren't good, but they're not what people mean by this high value thing is not what it's supposed to be, in my opinion. Right? And I want to break that down on what it's supposed to be to me. And as you guys know, don't believe nothing I say. Think for yourself and know for yourself, right? But I want to just talk about that a little bit. Let's blow through some of these clips. Let's see what we got here. Super Saiyan 4 says, Joel loves the ladies. That's right. Somebody got to love. Who's going to love them? Somebody got to love them. The love doctor will love them. Joel will love them. Fist bump, ladies. Fist bump. Renesio with the donut says, where'd it go? Renesio says, give me 1 second, and then we're going to get to these clips because it just popped in right now. Renesio says, my wife's boyfriend, okay, my wife's boyfriend likes to buy Coors, but I like IPAs. What should I do? Well, it sounds like you got a bigger problem than beer there, Renesio. You know what I mean? It sounds like you got a bigger problem. So I don't think you should be worried about the beer. I think there might be a conversation that needs to be had with your wife about why she got a boyfriend and why you accept it. Nah, I think he's just messing around. But appreciate it, Renesio. Right on. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, so this is from YouTube. Let me pull up this clip right here. Ha ha ha. Where are we at? Is it here? Yeah. This is from YouTube. Social media influencers Andrew Tate and Cheyenne Reynolds sit down for a conversation about high-value men and women on Standout TV. Okay? Here's the first clip. Let's get to it.
Female beauty is extremely valuable.
The thing is, there's a difference between a high-value man and a high-value woman. For me, a high-value woman is what kind of mother is she? What kind of compassion has she got? You know, has she got integrity? Has she got morals? Is she loyal? All these other qualities. But I feel like men base it on just an aesthetic level.
I agree with you. If I meet a female, I would like her to be all those things, especially loyal. It's the most important thing for a female to be.
Are you loyal?
Mr. Loyal, man of God, we already talked about church. But the point is that to initially attract a mate, females, the most important thing for them is their looks, whereas a man, I think, is his status, and status is a far more varied spectrum than looks alone. Being good looking alone does not make you a high status male. To be a high status male, you need to have a bunch of things. Initially, if you're just pretty, you're gonna get attention. Whereas a man, you need to have a bunch of things to just get attention. Do you understand? Do you agree with my point?
Not always. Listen, there's men that are funny, that aren't that attractive, that can get attention. It's like an energy thing.
So, Andrew Tate, what he's basically saying is that status is important to getting a woman. Now, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he only means that in a sense of initial attraction, right? The initial attraction is a woman is attracted to a man and is willing to get to know him once he knows that he's capable of providing, right? As far as him having money and, doing all those things. And the initial attraction for a man to a woman is the fact that she's beautiful, right? But I also want to state that these are shallow things, right? Of course, in the grand scheme of things, being provided for and being beautiful is a necessary thing, right? You want to be able to make sure that, you look decent. The woman looks beautiful because she takes care of herself, and the man, is able to, work and take care of the family. Of course, ideally, but those things are still not important. And I think that this thing about high value men in the culture is like a materialistic, shallow thing. Like I said on the JLP show, the spirit of God is eliminated from it completely. Nobody talks about the spirit ever, rarely. And that's the problem, because now it becomes about things. It becomes about like animalistic nature, because when a woman sees that a guy has money, in her mind, in her thoughts, in the following way, she's thinking that he can provide, that he's a real man and all these things, but that's not entirely true. We know plenty of men who have lots of money, but can't lead a woman or is not a real strong man. We see that, plenty of examples of that. But on the outward appearance, he looks like that. And unfortunately, that's what attracts women to that. But I realize when it comes to status and that stuff is that, yeah, if that's the initial, let's just say if a woman sees that as the initial thing that he has money, then you're attracting the wrong woman. You know what I'm saying? You're attracting the wrong woman. I don't want that type of woman. My true self, let's just say that. Let's be real. My true self, the real Joel doesn't want that type of woman, right? The false Joel is a different story. I'm just playing, kids. But I don't, if I'm looking for a wife, I don't want her to be attracted to me because she thinks I can provide. That's a silly thing. Because all a woman, I say this, I've said this before, all a woman needs to know is that I know God. Meaning that I follow God. Meaning that my heart is after doing what's right. That's all she needs to know. And she needs to be able to see that by God revealing that to her. And that's all she should be asking for. Any woman that's looking to get married, the only thing that she should be asking God about when it comes to her finding a husband is finding a man that is following God, but making it so she can see that that's the reality. She shouldn't be praying that he can provide. She shouldn't be praying that he is handsome, that he is loyal, that he is none of these things. She should only be concerned that she finds a man that follows God truly. Because she will know that if he follows God truly, he's going to lead her. That's all they need to know. So all this status and stuff thing, like it's nice, and eventually God's not going to make you broke. If you're following God, let's just be honest. God is not going to have you out here broke without a reason, right? So that's irrelevant, right? We'll get to the money thing, but let's get to what matters. And that is not what's talked about in society. It's all about this high value man. It's all about can he provide? It's all about is he a hustler and all that stuff. No, is he of God? Because every man you're gonna get is gonna make mistakes. He's gonna be, but you'll be able to let go of those mistakes and look past them once you see the best they can, right? The best they can. The woman's gonna do the best she can to look past them. Once she knows that she has a man that really means well and is trying to do the right thing. So that's the type of women you want to attract. Now, moving on. Terry says, how do we do that, Joel? How do we know if he follows God truly? Great point. You know if are you working on yourself? And I'm not talking to you specifically, Terry, but is the woman working on herself, right? Is she seeking? Because if she's seeking, God will reveal to her what a real man looks like. You know what I mean? Because she can't be, lost, all over the place now working on herself and then expect God to send her this man, because he's going to send it and she's not going to be able to recognize it and she's going to slander it and hate it. So the woman has to be seeking herself to be able to recognize it, right? So that's that. But let me move on, get to the second clip, because this one is so deep to me. Because here is where Tate explains why men are liars. Interesting.
And I think a lot of men live in a world now today where they have to lie.
Do you think?
In fact, I would basically guarantee that 99% of men are lying at least 80% of the time.
Really? That's a bit bold.
I think it's true, because I think that...
So men are liars?
Men are liars. Women are correct. Men are liars. Women wear makeup because men fall in love with what they see. And men lie because women fall in love with what they hear.
Interesting. Interesting. And he's right about that. In the fallen state. Let me tell you. Because this is how guys think. Not all, of course. Not all. But this is how guys think. We see a girl that we like and we're attracted to her. And when we're attracted to her, now we want something for her. So in order to get what we want, we're going to lie. We're going to say all the right things and we're going to lie and lie and lie because we know that's what she wants to hear. And we know that if we tell her what she wants to hear, she's going to like us. Right? So we'll say whatever we want to say just to get what we want. Right? And then what do the women do? The women they know, well, they may not know that that's the case, but they just love to hear the lies. Right? And it's not that they love to hear the lies. Let me correct that. Is that they love to hear the compliments and they love to feel good, right? They love that. So even if they know it's a lie, it's okay to them. Why? Because at least the lie is making them feel good. Now, obviously, ideally, when you overcome and as you're overcoming, you, as a guy, you should be overcoming lying and chasing and all that stuff. But oftentimes it's guys lying because they're trying to get what they want. But listen, here's the thing is that women also know that these, like this whole, what do you call it? What is it? These enhancements to the bodies and makeup, they're only wearing it for the most part, right? They're wearing it because they know that's what the man likes. Now, even if they know that they're kind of being used, and this is not all women, even though they know that they're kind of being used, they're okay with it because they're at least getting that attention. So women know what they're doing and men know what they're doing as well. But women just love to hear, you know, how nice they look and all that stuff. And men love to say it because they want to get what they want. Now, with that being said, I think that there's still a time to, that it's okay to compliment a lady. It's okay to tell her that she's this and this and that. And is it going to make her feel good? And is it going to boost the ego a little bit? I don't see it that way. Right? And if it does a little bit, I don't think that that's wrong. I think that in the right moments, if you give a girl a compliment and make her feel good, it's feeding the spirit and not just the ego. So, yes, men will lie to get what they want, but if a man is not chasing a woman, then he'll be able to separate himself from that. But I don't want to get too into that because this next clip will help me add to that point. So let's do that. Let me do this clip. Now, this is the way to actually live, in my opinion. This is the way men should actually go about life. And I agree with Tate here. Here's where Tate explains. Oh, no, sorry. This is where Tate explains how men ought to live. Here we go.
I'm enjoying this conversation, and I understand every point she's making, and I'm being deliberately abrasive. However, the truth is about the masculine-feminine dynamic is that females like men who are completely in charge and run their life exactly how they want, and they comply and bend to the man's wills and lifestyle. To come along to a woman and say, how do you want me to be so that you like me is a death sentence for the relationship. So that's how it works.
I agree with that. And how I perceive it, what he's saying is that like men should just focus, and I'll take it a little bit further than what he just said. Men are supposed to just focus on working on themselves, right? Working on themselves, and then working on building themselves up financially. And I don't mean like becoming rich, right? I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like establishing in themselves and like, finding their grounds and their footing when it comes to their career and working on themselves. And as you're doing that, if it's meant for you to get married or meet somebody, it'll be added on to you. And when it's added on to you, you don't find yourself lying or anything because she's already into you. Because she's already attracted to you by the light that comes from you. So you don't have to try to say the nice words. You don't have to try to trick her to like you. She already likes you because she was added on to you. And when that happens, you don't have to question whether or not your intentions are well, whether or not any of this stuff. It kind of works itself out. And that's where all men should live. The only reason why the problems come in this high value man and this all these words is because when men chase women, right? When men chase women, we're chasing women because we want something from them. And what is that oftentimes? Come on, let's just be real. Right? We're chasing women, so we want one thing from them. So because that's our intention, we're gonna fall into the plate of lies. Right? We're gonna say and do whatever we gotta do to get what we want. But when it's added onto us, things work out as it's supposed to. And it's still a process. It doesn't mean that now we get married because it was added by God. No. Now we gotta get to know each other, and make sense of it all and still work on ourselves and see if we're gonna be able to stay on the same page. But we're not supposed to chase. Chasing is where the problems come in. And I truly believe that innately in women, there's something that was put in them by God to recognize a good man, and they'll go get him. They will go get him. And I'm not saying that they got to go way out their way and be the one to initiate the conversation and do all this stuff. I'm not saying that, but maybe. Why not? But the point is, I think it's in women to recognize a good man, and then they go get him. I think it's in women to do that, not in men to go chase the woman. Because think about it. It's like when you're chasing a woman, you're saying that you want to be in her world. You want to be a part of her life, opposed to her seeing your world being led by God and being like, wow, I just want to get into that space. I want what he has. You know what I mean? So the woman has to go into the man's world and she's drawn to the man just like the man is drawn to God. I ain't making this stuff up. This is scripture. But I can't tell you the verse, but I do know that this is scripture. And you don't need to read the Bible to find out. That's what I'm saying. Once you working on yourself and you're looking within, the answers are all there. That's a little bit off subject, but the answers are all there. If you look within and get to know yourself, the more you start to recognize the true you, the spirit within. It doesn't mean you still don't have problems. Doesn't mean you reach perfect peace. Doesn't mean that you're never gonna make mistakes. None of that stuff. But the point is, you're starting to, like, God is drawing you in, one step at a time. But anyway, I'm gonna get to some calls right now. But the point is that we live in a crazy world. for the guys and for the ladies, we live in a crazy world, and so many people are making themselves available, and it's not easy to operate. And sometimes you have moments of weakness. And but all we can do is just be aware and just continue to learn. And God will renew our minds and draw us in. But one thing I will say is that, like, chasing has not done me ever any good. God has to add all things. So this high value man and high value woman stuff is just, it's crazy talk. Because I don't want nobody that wants me because she thinks I can provide. What the? Because at the end of the day, all a woman really wants is love. She's looking for love. She's looking for God's love. And she can only get it if she's married through the man. And even if she's not married, she can get it straight from God, yes. But you have a opportunity to have a man physically in front of you to pass down all the wisdom and understanding of how to reach love and perfect peace and joy and no more depression, all that stuff. But women don't want it. They'd rather be working 9 to 5s and being their own woman. I don't understand that. It's like you literally have a person, you could have a person in front of you that can give you that power and love and light that you're looking for if you just are obedient to it. But I know people are just blind and can't see. But anyway, Kaya says not all women, and not all men. Kale Samogi, a mod on the JFTV podcast, says there is an argument for women not needing to submit to their husband anymore ever since the sin and curse of Adam was dealt with, thanks to Jesus. Men and women not needing to submit to their husbands anymore. No. If you're getting married, if you don't want to submit, don't get married. If you're married, the only way it's going to work is if you get into your roles. You stay in your lane. And your lane is to be submissive to the husband. Regardless of what he's into, regardless if he's submissible. Because that's your job. And no one said it was going to be easy, but that's your job. Same way that it's the man's job to submit to Christ and lead his wife, even if the wife is not leadable, which she should if you guys got married in the first place. If you guys got married the right way in the first place. But even if she, problems arise and she's not leadable, let's just say, the man's job is still to be of love and lead. We don't get to choose what we don't want to do. But God, it's not going to be forceful, and God's going to give you the understanding of what that means so you understand that. You don't got to force yourself to do it. But, yeah, and if a woman's not willing to do that, then don't pursue. Don't take her seriously. If she's not seeing that, don't take her seriously. Doesn't mean you can't be friends, but don't take her seriously because she's not going to do her part because she doesn't see clear. But right on, Kale. Mr. Pink says Joel wrong. What am I wrong about, Mr. Pink? Call in or send a super chat or something. Harmony says, a little disobedience is fun, though, with small, superficial things. I don't know what you mean, Harmony. You make me nervous. I don't know what you mean by a little disobedience. But I will say, I might be revealing too much. Hold on to your chairs. Clench tight to your chairs. But I like a little edgy. You know what I mean? I like a little edgy, but at the end, in the grand scheme of things, you need to know what the order is, as far as like a wife. I ain't mad at a little edgy, is what I'm saying. I ain't mad at a little edgy. Like, she's a little edgy, but at the end of the day, she gotta know what the deal is. Joelle is like a woman with boots and a whip. Oh, come on. Let me go to Juan out of Washington. You can call in 888-775-3773. Juan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How's it going, Joel?
How's it going, Juan? All is well.
Doing all right. So I just want to comment on the whole thing, the high value man and all that crap. Those guys, if you notice and it's not me judging them, it's just what's obvious. If you watch the show of Fresh and Fit, you can tell that whenever they're trying to make their point and make their arguments, they're all up in their feelings, and they can't control the way their voice gets, excited and all that stuff. So that just tells me that everything they're saying is coming from ego.
That's a good point.
And if you can't control your emotions when you're trying to make a point, I think that's all ego. And the reason why I say it is because I see it in me.
Yeah.
And before I started overcoming my ego and overcoming my sexual desires and stuff like that, I used to look at women like he describes it, as a sex object.
Yeah.
And I would just look at a woman and undress her with my mind. And now that I've been overcoming that, I can see now that they're not sexual objects. They're a child of God, just like we are, trying to return to the Father, but they just don't know it.
Yeah.
And it's because of all the conditioning and all the crap that we've been put through our whole lives, and getting this false idea that we need to be a high value man, that we need to be, or that women need to be an independent boss babe, and all this crap. And it's just an illusion.
It's an illusion. Exactly. It's just been taught by the world of what that's supposed to be. And it definitely is all to boost the ego instead of just being a regular person and letting those things happen naturally. Yeah,
I agree. And like, for example, me, I started overcoming about 1.5 years ago. And the more I see the evil in me, I can see the evil in other people.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And it just amazes me how many years it took me to get to this point. And one thing that I want to say is I was very, very religious, and I would go and repent every weekend because of the things that I was doing.
Yeah.
But I realized that I have nothing to repent for, because everything that's happened to me since the day I was born till now had to happen in order for me to be here today, where I'm at this point in time.
Yeah.
So for me to repent would be kind of like saying, kind of like disrespecting God for everything that's happened to me. You know what I mean? And now I see it as joyful. I take it as joyful that all that stuff happened to me, because now I'm able to see those things.
No, and I love that what you're saying, in the sense of like the reason why you're able to speak on these things, because you see it in yourself, and I see that as well in myself. These are things that I've learned about myself that I've done, or that I do, or like the cravings or had, the ego desires that I have. I see them in me, and I see them sometimes act out. And from that, it helps me, recognize what's also happening in other people. So you're 100% right. Once you pay attention, you realize that you know more about other people, just as you know about yourself.
Yeah, and it's not even in a judgmental way. It's just that you see things for what they are.
Yeah.
And you see that the same thing that's attacking you within you is attacking them. The only difference is they're oblivious to it. They don't recognize it. They don't see it, or they don't want to see it. Because, like Jesse says, a lot of people love living in the hell.
Right.
Most people love their hell, and you try to. Now that I've been overcoming, it's so crazy because, like, even when I'm, like, I just noticed this the other day. Like, I don't hang out with anybody anymore. I'm not seeking for validation from anybody. I'm not trying to go out of my way to hang out with people like I used to.
Yeah.
And it's just because whenever I was in those circles, whenever I was hanging out with those people, I noticed that all they do is bring each other down.
Yeah.
They talk about each other when the other person is not present, but then when that person is present, they put this whole mask and act totally different. And I'm like, wait a second, that's very hypocritical.
Exactly.
Because if I can't be myself around you, that means that you have a certain amount of control over me. And what I realize is that I'm not trying to control anybody, but I also don't want nobody trying to control me.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm just trying to stay away from people.
And no, I understand, and that's the beauty of waking up and being able to see, because you start to just see things that you didn't see before, and naturally, you just want to separate yourself from it because you realize, I don't want to be around this type of thing, and it's not personal to the other people. It's just that you see that it's just not a good place to be. Excuse me. So 100%, Juan, I appreciate that, man. Good point.
Yeah. And one more thing about the whole porn thing and the whole. I was addicted to porn since or not me, but this thing that was driving me was causing me to watch porn since I was like at a very young age. And now that I'm overcoming, like, I don't even have the desire for it. Even if I see a pretty girl on Instagram or on the websites or on YouTube, whatever, like, it doesn't move me anymore. I don't get that feeling that I used to get, that rush, that thrill that I used to get, and it's amazing, bro. Like, I never thought in my life that I would be able to overcome that. And it's not me. Like, I notice it's not me. It's just, like Jesse says, it's the Father through you, just to ripping away those things that have been holding you down for so long. And it's beautiful, man.
100%, man. Great points. I appreciate your call. Call me again, Juan. I just had to get some other calls here, but thank you, man.
Take care, man. God bless you guys.
All right, you as well. Yeah, Juan is right. He said it all right there. No, God will draw you in. And if he hasn't drawn you in on certain things yet, it's okay. And like Terry Strange said in the chat here, I happened to catch her comment. What'd she say? I had it and I just lost it. What the? Oh, count it all joy. Count it all joy. Right? You're learning on the way. And there's no point in us stressing about it. And this is my favorite part about that. There's no point in us stressing about it, and we can relax because we can't do anything about it anyway. If you still watch the videos or if you still do these things, we can't do anything about it anyway. But just be aware. And God will draw us in. And on our behalf is when we start to stop doing these things. Because our mind is being renewed and we're seeing it for what it is. And we're like, oh, shoot. What the? So then you start to lose the taste. It's crazy. But it's just the truth. And God has to do it. You can't do it, or else you can boast about it and high step over everybody else. But no, we're not saved by our own works. Amazing stuff. That word That word of God. Waiting on God. Anyway, let's go to Serge out of Texas. Serge, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Joel. I'm going to get right into it, man.
Right on.
First thing I want to say, I think it'd be really cool for you to put me and Becca as a poll for mods, because I think it'd be cool to put the blacks against each other. So
Becca is never even in my chat. So
I know.
I can't even.
You just do it anyway. I'm not on a serious note because I can care less.
Okay.
And another thing is Terry made me a sandwich the other day, and then I found out, I threw the sandwich back at her, and she told me that wasn't my sandwich. The PB&J was yours. That I got a hot cooked meal. She said Joel liked that type of stuff.
Oh, see, now I'm coming for Terry.
She said you like PB&Js. I like the hot cooked meal.
Now I'm coming for Terry. What the heck, Terry?
So, anyways, with that being said, I have to be short here because I want you to get to another call, and I know the guy that answers the phones, he wanted to hear more about this.
Right on.
Yeah. So I want to just say this. The reason why I left the red pill community is you guys pretty much covered it, but I would just say this. How it's being served, it totally has no love. Yeah. And I don't like the way that their spirit is behind the message, so I had to leave it. And when I say left it, man, I didn't only just leave it, but I deleted all the videos that I was doing that was growing, getting attention. And in all my responses in the comment sections, even though I was responding with just asking questions like, what do you disagree with? That's the common thing I would say. I just noticed that it was just like, look, this isn't even me. My power comes from me being me, and this ain't me.
Yeah.
This ain't me. I can serve it better than this. I can do better than this. So that's my reason of leaving the community. If you have a beautiful steak, and I love steak, Terry, by the way, and you serve it with poo-poo on it.
Okay, okay, no more. But let me say this about your comment before about the red pill thing. Is the thing that I keep seeing in society and culture in general is everything without the spirit of it. And I think you make a great point is that you left because there was no spirit involved. And the red pill community, which is like a political term, is all about, these like identities of either conservative or liberal and nothing has to do with the spirit and God, or at least they say that they believe in God, but we're not seeing that. And I think that's the problem with all these new terms getting created, is that God is not involved in it, so it doesn't have that foundation. So I think you're right, and the red pill community is not like it's a bad thing, but the reason why you left is because it's lacking, from what it sounds like, it's lacking the spirit. And I think that's what most people are missing, the love of it, the love. And love ain't there. And ain't nobody speaking on it besides the JLP network on what love really is. So right on, Serge.
Right on, man. Fist bump, Joel. Fist bump.
Right.
Later, man.
I appreciate it. All right. Okay. Gotta take a deep breath. So, let me check the super chats. Oh, yeah. I think I'm finished with everything a little bit early. Oh, I have something that's going to make your guys' day. Let me just do it real quick, and then I'll end. I have something that's going to make your guys' day, because it made my day. And I don't know if it is going to make your day or not. But this has made my day. Let me show you. This is an example of how much fathers are needed. And I don't know, I think most of the time fathers don't know, men don't know how much children really appreciate and need their presence until you see how much children appreciate and need your presence. So I want to play a little video that might just warm your heart up a little bit before we get to the American Anchor Baby. Here's a clip that I found on Instagram, I believe. Here we go.
Pick up the toys.
Yeah. Someone's knocking at the door. Who's that?
Daddy.
Who is it? I told you he'd knock. I told you he'd knock on the door.
Daddy and Mommy and Daddy.
Yes. Hello.
So that was a little story about a father that works away from home and he has to come in the home sometimes and then leave because he works out of the state and come back and forth. And every time he comes home, she gets that kind of welcome. Ain't that special? When her dad's gone, she just miss her dad. And you know, I don't think most men really understand what that is. So I just wanted to play that. But anyway, I'm going to end a little bit early. I'm going to give American Anchor Baby time. It's not like I'm going to give it to him when I just got through all my stuff, right? But I'm going to end early. American Anchor Baby's coming in. Joel Friday TV across the board. Follow the JLP network. Everybody across the board. Jesse Lee Peterson Show. The Hake Report. Joel Friday TV. The American Anchor Baby Show. All of it is incredible. You don't want to miss it. And subscribe, share. All that good stuff because we got to get the message out. I'm back here tomorrow for some more mess. Until next time, y'all, I got to go. Bye.